Welcome to another Hollywood Times Live. Tonight, Valerie Milano interviews tech entrepreneur Chris J. Snook, who will be launching the Nifties, the Pre-eminent Web3 Innovation Awards Gala, set for June 14th, 2023 in Las Vegas.
Hey, Chris, I'm Valerie Milano from the Hollywood Times. Nice to meet you virtually.
It is great to meet you.
What are you doing back there on your background?
I was just demonstrating a little bit of the Nico Theater in the metaverse. This is the mid-journey rendered AI Carbe optimized still photo that turns into a bunch of cool little backgroundness. So
Hey, move a little bit. So let me see what happens when you move with that in the background.
Oh, move a little bit? Oh, it just follows me. Like, it just stays what it is.
Yeah, but it doesn't, like, if you don't have a green screen, so you don't have a green screen back there, right?
Not today. No, I mean I have one, but no, I'm just sitting in an office. So the new MacBooks or whatever do a pretty good job. If I had a hat on, you would be able to tell, like if I wore this, see how it kind of disappears. So.
Okay, yes. All right. Now that's more normal than I'm used to seeing when there's gotcha.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. So
yeah.
And then that's the Nico Theater at Warrior Studios. So this is actually where the Nifties is going to be broadcast from.
So you pronounce it
Nico Theater.
Nico Theater, but you pronounce the awards what?
Nifties.
The Nifties.
Yep.
And what does that stand for?
It's a word. It's Nifties is a recognition of an award that is focused on Web3 innovation and culture and art as it moves into the next generation. And a lot of people may think of things like NFTs, which are part of Web3 and they're a container for Web3. We wanted a cool way to brand an award that spoke to this culture of Web3 and metaverse and AI and all those things. And at the same time, we are minting digital twins of the award. We'll be tokenizing the awards in NFTs as well as the tickets. So we'll be wrapping every ticket that gets bought into a commemorative NFT, and then it unlocks a bunch of different utility and other activations throughout the show for anyone who's participating in the live broadcast virtually or in person. So that's where the name came from.
So NFT.
YS, the NFTYS. So the award itself is called the Nifty.
And does NFTYS, does it stand for anything? Or that's just the word?
Nope.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Because people have been asking me when my article came out, and it's like, okay, now I can answer them. That's just the word.
Well, it's kind of like, I don't know, honestly, if the SB stands for anything or the 20,
right.
But I know on that, but it's an original to everything else.
Right.
Yeah, that's the winner, and I so it highlights a career. So we couldn't be happier with the design of it. Why does it matter? Culture always comes first, right? So we could look through history and we could look at all the different technological advances that have happened. But if we're really analytical about it. Haight-Ashbury happened before Silicon Valley took off, right? There was this social cultural revolution in the 60s that was just part of that evolution in time and history and generations. And then we had this kind of boom of all these things that we now live in and take for granted, or maybe even fear a little bit, of technology and this kind of new world that we've lived in. And, 100 years ago, we had moving pictures, and then we had, talkies, and then and the Academy of Motion Pictures was formed because there was this industry that was being exported and that was entertaining, and that was a new way of communicating through moving pictures and art that needed a platform to be recognized for its innovation, for its talent, for its impact on society, and for the envelopes that it pushed and everything else. And so, 95 years ago or whatever, we created the Oscars. And at the time that it got created, it wasn't like everyone was running out going to the movies every Friday, right? It wasn't a multi-trillion-dollar or whatever industry. And so this is just next. I mean, it's kind of like, when you think about it, it's the inevitability of, you have a generation of people that 15 years ago, when we had the last great financial crisis in 2008, before Satoshi gave us the Bitcoin white paper in 2009, that you had this whole world where Facebook was in its infancy, Twitter didn't matter, the iPhone had very little penetration, BlackBerry was king. Like, this was 2008, that we take this stuff for granted now, but the reality is the last time we went through kind of the seedings of this social cultural revolution I think we're living in now, we didn't even have the exponential technologies that now we all take for granted and can't leave home without, and all the businesses and the platforms that got built on top of them. And we also didn't have some of the problems that they're causing today, right? Like polarization and algorithmic, essentially manipulation of our minds. But yet at the same time, we've unlocked all this new creativity. We've brought billions of people into the commercial cycle that could never participate before. We have the opportunity now to expand that, and through Web3, through blockchain, through all these technologies, we can have someone who barely had running water all of a sudden have a device like this and create art using tools that are taking the cost of production down to near zero, from Midjourney to Stable Diffusion to all these different things with AI, and create. And now all of a sudden that person can monetize frictionless from a phone in Africa and Middle East and whatever. They can be transacting with people all over the world. And this is all happening, right? So we just felt like the world needed a place to recognize that was credible, that was focused on the good things that's happening. Because what everybody thinks about when they think about this space is it's either weird and small and not going to happen, or it's a scam, or it's a crypto weirdo, or but the reality is that billion-dollar brands and everybody else have already started to prove that this is next. Consumers were consuming over $67 billion in 2021 of direct-to-avatar goods. And most people, the first time they've heard me say direct-to-avatar is the first time they even thought of what that is. That's direct-to-consumer, except not for the physical world. It was a $67 billion industry 2 years ago. So what does that tell you? That tells you that we have a whole generation of people, not just young people, people like us, Gen X's, and that are starting to consume more in their digital assets, or will consume more in digital products in the future than they will physical. And, if Zuck gets his way, if some of these other folks get their way, and all of a sudden we're all doing meetings with avatars in the metaverse, we're going to address those things. We're not going to just show up in black t-shirts, because that'll be lame. We won't be able to differentiate. So Gucci and Louis Vuitton and you name the brand, and brands we've never heard of, are all going to be selling us stuff for our avatars to wear. And we're going to want to be able to take that from one metaverse into another, which doesn't exist today. And that's the promise of Web3. So the innovators that are enabling the infrastructure, the technology that's going to allow you and me to buy a skin in Fortnite and use it in Roblox, Aokiverse, when we go to party with Steve Aoki at a concert, or Paris Hilton, like the IP and the brands and the technology and the innovators and the artists that are going to move that needle needed something that wasn't just a bunch of crypto bros in a conference, and it wasn't your grandma's award show. And so the Nifties had to be formed.
The Nifties had to be performed, and it's going to be in Las Vegas in June 14th. Where's it going to take place? What hotel or?
Well, so it's we are producing it at the Nico Theater, which is
You did say that.
Is inside of Worry Studio. Worry Studio is a state-of-the-art XR studio that is unbelievable. 25,000 square feet. It's got the ability to stream interactive. I'm sitting in it now virtually. This is what it looks like. So there's a screen like this. There's two screens here. There's another one on this side. It's completely 360. The VIPs, the nominees, and the Academy members that are voting on who actually wins in those 180 kind of VIPs and in-studio audience will be sitting in a boutique-style redesigned kind of cafe area around the stage. As you see behind me, there's pictures, and these are screens. These are front row seats from all over the world with interactive chat that get pinned in real time to interact with hosts, to performers, to what have you. During the show, they have a dashboard. They can watch it from any, laptop or phone. They don't need any special equipment. And they get a personalized front row seat. So when they have their ticket, they have a unique login. We're going to commemorate that ticket and wrap it in an NFT that'll unlock extra things inside the Nico layer, which is the metaverse layer of this theater. But this is a physical theater. It'll broadcast all over the world and is 30 countries and 30 languages simultaneous. That screen has the ability with Unreal 5 engines and 13 cameras embedded into it to make everybody who's watching virtually be able to actually feel like they're part of it spatially, because the cameras are inside the screen in Unreal, and it makes the metaverse and the virtual and the green screen layer and the real life layer all blend together. It's the most interactive thing you'll ever see.
And how can viewers tune in?
They'll literally buy a ticket like you would buy a ticket on any other website for the pay-per-view. You'll be given a direct link, and it rides on top of a layer of Zoom, an enterprise-grade layer of Zoom that allows us to have up to 570,000 simultaneous interactive streams. We'll have over 250,000 on-premise and the other 250 in the cloud. So the latency is zero. It's like less than a third of a millisecond, or less than a third of a second, sorry. And so they'll just be able to click on it just like you would click on a website or go to Netflix, and they'll be able to watch it through their own customized portal. And in that'll be a dashboard, and there'll be, buttons that'll let them activate or claim different drops and things that happen from the brand partners and sponsors during the show without leaving the actual stream. They'll be able to chat, they'll be able to meet one another. And then we'll be syndicating it for replay over the following weekend. We'll be syndicating it through a couple different distribution platforms. We'll be giving the rebroadcast rights to a couple different places in different countries as well as in America for people to just watch kind of passively and see what happens. So
interesting. Oh my goodness. This is what our world has come to, right? And the honorees, how do you determine those?
So right now, up until April 15th, anybody in the public can go to nifties.org, NFTYS.org, click the button that says nominate. There's a short form, takes you under 3 minutes to fill out. You put in your name, your email, so that there's a record of who nominated, just so that we can reach out and connect. You put in the person or the project's name or nominated and the contact person there, and then you select the category of awards, which the final categories will be announced April 1st in a follow-up release. We'll make sure we get you an advance copy of that. But the directional name and some of the final names of the awards are on the site right now. So you would select the category that fits, and you would nominate the person or the project for that. So if you think they're the innovator of year, you would nominate them for the Nakamoto. If they're a layer one protocol like Ethereum or Cardano or Ripple or you name it, not leaving anybody out, you would nominate them for layer one protocol of the year. If it was an artist that did something really badass and cool, there's a category for that. So you would say, so-and-so, and here's the thing. And then you would submit some information that we can look up who they are. Once April 15th happens, we'll close public nominations. Doesn't cost anything to nominate. It's free. You can nominate somebody as many times. You can nominate somebody for multiple awards. Gary Vee's been nominated, I think, for like 4 or 5. Aoki's been nominated for some. We have protocols and artists and technologists that have been nominated for 1 or 4 or 5 different things. Kind of like if you have a really good movie, it might be up for 6 different Oscars, right? So people can nominate Their communities can nominate them at scale. And then ultimately we use AI and we use our 24 founding academy members to this year sort through that list and announce the short list of finalists, which will be somewhere between 4 to 6 people per category on May 15th. And so those finalists will be officially nominees. And they'll be selected by the Academy of Digital Art, Sciences, and Culture DAO members, which is a diverse group of members, including myself and Larry, but that allows us to have a complete representation to the best of our ability of minds and specified knowledge and different types of folks from around different parts of the world to kind of weigh in on who should be in the short list. And then the finalists will be picked with that group from there, out of those finalists, and they will be announced at the actual live broadcast June 14th.
Love the project. It's so interesting and so different and fresh. And I just appreciate your time, Chris, right now. And
I really appreciate your time. I mean, it's you know, it's hard to put these things in 500-word releases and get the word across. So, you know, the opportunity to bring it to life, to answer questions is exactly what we need. Can't thank you enough.
Yeah, we don't have enough time to get it out. So let's get it out now.
That's right.
It's a pleasure to meet you. Hopefully we can meet in person one day and keep up the great work.
Awesome.
All right.
Appreciate you. Thanks.
All right, Chris. Have a great day.
You too.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching and suggest you subscribe to this channel for the next Hollywood Times Live.